In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a symbolic collage. So you'll need some glue and a glue sponge for gluing your collage, and then I'm also starting with some different painted papers that I created ahead of time. They're just abstract painted papers, and I have some with different patterns, and I tried out different watercolor as well as tempera techniques just to experiment, and these are perfect for collaging. You can also use some tissue paper as well as magazines for this project as well. So I'm going to start with my cardstock here, and I'm just starting by ripping a strip of one of my painted papers, and I made it a little bit of a triangular shape because I'm going to create kind of a starburst design. I've just put my paper into the glue sponge to add glue to the back of it, and then I'm tearing off where I don't need it, but I tore too far, so I'm just going to pick it up and place it where I want it. And as long as that glue is wet, that will work. And so I'm just adding color in different areas, and I'm trying to make my pattern here, my design here, balanced. So I'm trying to add different versions of the same paper and spreading them out around my collage so that the whole thing feels balanced, because I don't want too much of that dark blue all in one spot and then maybe too much pink in another spot. So I'm just making sure that I have different patterns and different colors evenly placed around my collage here. And this is just the base layer. We will be adding some things on top of it, but it's still good to be intentional and careful about placing these papers. So when I'm done, I'm just using my glue here to glue down any edges that are lifting up so that this is all really secure and flat and clean. So once it's dry, I'm going to go through and trim the edges. So I flipped my paper over so I could see the back of my cardstock as a guide to trim all those torn papers. Next, I'm going to be drawing my symbolic image, and I chose an eagle here onto my foam board. So this is printing foam board, and I could draw directly onto this if I want to, but I decided to trace this image that I found on Pixabay, a royalty-free site. And so I placed it onto my foam board, and then I'm using a colored pencil and I'm pressing really hard. So not so hard that I'm going to tear the paper. So sometimes a dull pencil works better for this, but I'm putting a lot of pressure, and you can see it made indents into my foam board here. So now I'm going through and I'm using a mechanical pencil, but I actually pushed the lead all the way in because I'm just using the plastic part of this pencil, and I'm deepening those grooves that I started to make when I was tracing, because this is really important that you have deep grooves in your foam board, and this is really important for the printing process. So once I'm done cleaning this up, I'm going to use a couple of different colors of colored paper. I have plexiglass and a brayer, which is the roller, and some block printing ink. So first thing I'm going to do is use a palette knife to spread just a little bit. So I did not need much of this this block printing ink, just a small amount, and I'm rolling it out on the plexi. Now the key is to cover that brayer, that roller, with the ink, because then I put it onto my foam board and you can see that eagle starts to magically appear there, and that's what I want. I don't want ink in those grooves. Then I press it down onto my paper really hard, and then when I pull it up, you see I have a nice print. And now I can keep using this foam board and make many prints if I want. So I'm trying this out on another colored piece of paper to see if I like that better. Then I'm going to just clean up my foam board with a wet rag here and take off all of that ink because I want to try a different color ink. So again, use my palette knife, put it onto the plexi, then I'm going to roll that ink onto the brayer, and I'm kind of doing a lift and roll motion to cover the brayer and then cover my foam board, press it down, make my print. Repeat the process. So you keep doing that as many times as you like until you're happy with the quality of the print and you're happy with the color of inks and paper that you chose. And I have a few different versions here that I can now work with. So once it's dry, go through and cut out your print here. So I am just cutting along the edges of the eagle, and I'm leaving a little bit of space. I'm not getting too close because otherwise I wouldn't really be able to see the print very well. and I'm carefully cutting it out in different colors so that I can see which works best. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use multiple birds or how to place them, but go ahead and lay it out, see which version you like best, and then you're going to add glue to the back and simply add them right on top of your background here to finish up the collage, and that's it.